All right, nice to see you guys again. I'm Officer Christine Kiltiga with New Lenox Police Department. And today we have a really good topic that we're going to be talking about, severe weather preparedness. I'd like to introduce you guys to Tom.
Hello.
This is Tom Murray.
Hi, Tom. Good afternoon.
Yep. He's a Chief Deputy Director for Will County EMA. So everybody welcome him.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me today. I want to take an opportunity to talk about severe weather preparedness, what you guys can do to prepare for yourself. You're probably already doing a lot of these things, but it's a good chance to kind of go over how we can prepare as we're getting into storm season, right? And if you all stay and listen to me, I have some cool giveaway prizes. So hopefully everybody got a raffle ticket when they came in, right? Anybody not get a raffle ticket? All right. We'll go ahead and get started then. So again, my name is Tom from Will County EMA. A little bit about our agency. We were founded in 1959 as part of the Civil Defense Agency, and our mission has changed and evolved as threats and hazards have changed over the years. We have 11 full-time people that work for us and about 80 volunteers that help us complete our mission. These are some of the areas that we really focus on, planning and exercising, working with first responders, bringing training to them, helping with public education and coordination and outreach, things like this, like we're doing today. Severe weather monitoring that goes along with that, and communications and warning. So these are kind of at a very high level what our agency does for the county. So some severe weather facts. Did you know Illinois ranks 4th in the United States for the most tornadoes per square mile, right? Maybe not on the top of the list that we want to be on, but it is what it is. Majority of tornadoes happen between April and June, between 3 and 10 p.m., but they can happen at any time, right? There's an old wives' tale that they only happen during the daytime. They can happen at nighttime, right? If anybody remembers the tornado that hit the Diamond Coal City area, right? The end of November, and it snowed the next day, right? So it really can happen any time of the year. On average, about 53 tornadoes hit Illinois. Some other weather facts: most lightning deaths occur with people that are outdoors, near trees or in open fields, right? Because you become the highest thing in that area. The lightning is looking for the tallest thing to ground itself to. And this is kind of a bit of an obvious one, but overnight severe weather can often be the most damaging because we can't see what's happening, right? Flooded roads, washed out bridges, things like that. So we want to be careful when we're out and about. Watches versus warnings. So who knows what a watch and a warning is for severe weather? Anybody? Nobody? Okay. So watches mean things are favorable to happen, but they're not happening yet, right? So a day like today, right? It's a little overcast. It's kind of rough weather, but not terrible. This might be a watch, right? Maybe out west, there's more severe weather coming from Iowa and Nebraska. It's not here yet, but it could be a watch, right? We want to be aware of what's going on. Warning means things are occurring or they're imminent, right? As an example, there's a tornado coming up from the south. It's not in New Lenox yet, but we see it coming. It's imminent, right? So that's what a watch and a warning is. Now, of course, I can't do this without having a little bit of fun, right? A watch is we're getting ready to make cookies. A warning is they're here and we can eat them, right? Simple things help us remember things, right? So watches and warnings. So we talked a little bit about this, right? What are the differences? What should we know about, right? If it's a watch, you should be aware what's going on, right? If you're going to be out and about running errands, maybe just keeping an extra eye on the radio, listening as you're driving as weather conditions might change. Or if you're going to go maybe outdoors for a walk with your neighbor, maybe go earlier in the day than later in the day when the severe weather actually might be coming through, right? A warning is it's happening, it's here now. Take action, protect yourself, get indoors, get somewhere safe, right? Again, I keep talking about it because it's really important, right? Watches and warnings. Thunderstorm watch means be prepared. Thunderstorm warning means take actions. It's happening now.
Who issues a watch?
So the watches and warnings are issued by the National Weather Service. And we're very fortunate, actually. The office for the Chicago region is actually in Will County over in Lockport. It's kind of situated between the Lewis University and the airport over there. And they do a phenomenal job. They're really good people. They're great to work with for us too. So they're the ones that would issue watches and warnings. Thank you. That's a very good question. So severe weather safety plans, right? If something happens, what should you do, right? You want to have a plan because we don't want to be freelancing and trying to figure it out when something's going wrong. We want to think about it ahead of time, right? So pick a safe spot. And we'll talk about it in a couple pictures here what good spots are, but you want to be somewhere safe in your home, or if we're building like this, right? We want to be away from windows. More interior is better. Know how to get in touch, right? So does everybody's got a phone, right? Does everybody have a smartphone? Some people, okay. Know how to get a hold of your friends or your relatives. You can text people, right? When we recommend in a disaster, it's better to text than to call because texting can be short bursts of data, doesn't tie up a lot of the phone systems, and you get data out really quickly. You might get a text out faster than a phone call if all the phone lines are all busied out. So, and you know what, if it's a really big disaster, have a safe place to meet up, right? So maybe you and your neighbors decide, you know what, if something happens in our neighborhood and we can all be safe, we're all gonna meet at Mr. Jones's house 2 doors down, right? So we can all have a safe place to find our friends and our neighbors. So, in the Midwest, in our area, these are the 5 major types of severe hazards that we have to deal with: tornado, hail, lightning, wind, and flooding. So, tornado watch, right? Now don't laugh when I say this. You want to go indoors and protect yourself as best you can. This is the funny part. Things like putting a helmet on your head, right? Who has a bicycle helmet or a motorcycle helmet, right? Not your typical thing you might wear around the house, but if a tornado is coming, you can protect your head. This is a very good way to avoid damage. If you can manage to pull a mattress over yourself, right? Maybe you don't have a basement in your home, you can get in the bathtub. Bathtub might be cast iron, pretty solid. You can pull a mattress over yourself to protect yourself, right? Look at creative ways to protect you and your family from severe weather. Having a whistle, right? Okay, you survived the tornado, but maybe the walls around you are kind of collapsed, you can't get out the door's blocked. If you have a whistle, you can blow it every so often to get people's attention, right? Call somebody on the phone, if they're looking for you, blow the whistle, they can come and find you. Have supplies for your pets, things like that, right? So gotta get indoors into a sturdy building, get down as low as we can. Basement is the best, but if we don't have a basement, the next best thing is an interior room. And again, cover up, right? Cover your head, cover your body as best you can with what you have around you, right? So like in here, maybe under the table would be a better option than in the middle of the room. Prevents a little bit of coverage for you. Oops. So you might not be able to read all these, but the types of houses, right? A home, an apartment, a mobile home. We talked a lot about your house, right? In the interior room, going to the basement, having maybe a little bit of food to keep yourself nourished, and then ways to cover your head to protect your head. If you live in an apartment or a condo, you want to go as low a level as you can. Maybe there's a community room in your building, something like that. Or a bathroom. Crouch in a hallway, make yourself as small as you can, and again, try to protect your head. If you live in a mobile home, they're not the greatest place to live at for a tornado, but trying to get somewhere, maybe there's a community building, right? Maybe your development, I know there's one in Frankfurt, they have a community center. You can try to go into that. Or maybe if you have enough time, maybe your best friend's got a house you could go to, somewhere what's more stable than a mobile home. We talk about bad to good, right? So bad options are in your mobile home, in a car, under an overpass. Talk about that in a minute too. Those are like the worst options, right? Getting a little better is like a large school gym, right? They have those big truss ceilings. Yes, sir.
You mentioned a lot of people don't understand that, why you can't get under an overpass.
Yeah.
And get out of the weather.
Right.
It looks safe.
It's not safe at all.
Probably the worst.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. Thank you. Because you end up becoming part of a wind tunnel. And that can be very dangerous. School gyms are okay, but they're not great because they have those large truss ceilings, and those are prone to collapse if they get a lot of weight on top of them. So debris can make them collapse or make them blow off. So those aren't super great either. Better options, we talked about this, right? An interior room in your house, a basement, right? The best option, and not everybody has this, but is like a storm room, right? You've built your home and you've made a cinder block wall room in your basement that's got a steel door with a steel overhead roof. That's a great thing, but again, not everybody has that. All right, there we go. You were talking about that, right? So you're right, it might seem like a good idea, right? If you're a motorcycle rider and it's pouring down rain and it's not severe weather, maybe a good place to wait till it's done raining. But if it's severe weather, if it's windy, not the best choice because you can get sucked in, you can get a lot of debris blown at you, and your parked car can then maybe start to block traffic. So try to avoid that if at all possible. Hail. Now, people don't think about hail as a huge hazard, but it can really hurt you, right? In our area, we've got softball-sized hail that's happened, right? I've had my personal car, I had like 180 some little hail dent roofs, in the roof of my car, so it can really be a damage. It can smash windows, it can ruin the roof of your home. So you want to make sure you look out for hail. Like this poor gentleman was outside and got pelted, right? His arms are all broken out from bruises. So hail can be very damaged, could ruin crops, plants, things like that too. So lightning, right? You guys know this, right? When it's thundering, you shouldn't be outside. You want to go indoors, somewhere safe. Lightning is hotter than the surface of the sun. How about that? It can really hurt you. Like, have you ever seen lightning hit like a beach where there's sand? It turns it into glass. It's really hot. And the Weather Service recommends that if you hear thunder, right, go indoors and wait 30 minutes until you don't hear thunder before you go back outside, right? So if you're outside, maybe walking or at the golf course, something like that, you want to make sure you're somewhere safe. We talked about a few of these, right? There's nowhere safe outside when it's thundering out. You don't know how fast that storm is moving. Lightning can travel great distances, and you don't want to be caught. If you're the tallest object in a field, lightning is going to try to find you. Let's see here. Stay away from windows indoors if at all possible, right? Stay off porches because you're outside. Don't lie on concrete floors or lean against concrete walls. Anybody think why we might not want to do that? Any ideas?
I never heard that one.
So a lot of times concrete is reinforced with rebar, right? Rebar is a metal. Lightning wants to find a ground source, so it might try to find the rebar in the concrete. So in your basement, you're okay, right? But outdoors, if I'm standing outside or in like that porch, there's a lot of concrete out there, it might try to find that rebar. And if I'm by it, it might try to find me. Let's see here. We talked about a lot of this. So, if you're outdoors, a car is better than being outside, but you don't want to be in a convertible, right? You want to make sure you're in the car with the windows up and you're not touching the ground at the same time you're touching the car, because then you become the path to ground for that energy. All right, flood safety. More deaths occur from flooding than any other thunderstorm-related hazard, right? 6 inches of fast-moving water can knock a person over. 12 inches of rushing water can carry away most cars. 2 feet of rushing water can carry away SUVs, big semi-trucks, right? It doesn't take much. Water is a really powerful force. And what's really scary is you might not know the road is washed out. It might look like there's a little bit of water on that road, and you drive and all of a sudden, you're in trouble, right? So this happened up by Plainfield in 2013. Big flood came through, and you can see it washed down past the subsurface of the road all the way down to that culvert, right? It happened overnight, and if nobody had known, they'd have driven right into it. So you want to be careful with flooded roads. It can be very dangerous, right? So like we say, when flooded, turn around. We don't want you to drown. How do we receive weather alerts? Who has a weather alert radio? Anybody? Perfect.
I gotta know.
Well, if you guys stay the whole time, listening the whole time, I've got one we're going to give away. So you want to have multiple ways to get weather messages, right? NOAA Weather Radio is great. If you've got a smartphone, you can get an app. There's all kinds of apps you can get. The county has an app that we push weather alerts out on.
That will really wake you up in the middle of the night.
Absolutely. I have one in my kitchen, and I jump out of bed. My kids jump out of bed. It wakes you up out of a dead sleep. It's a great tool, right? Being able to watch it on TV and that kind of thing, right? Multiple ways to get weather information. Who knows what these are, right? Outdoor warning sirens. Anybody live by one here in New Lenox?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Outdoor warning sirens, or as I like to say, why can't they hear the siren in my house? That's the joke, sorry. So homes are built better, right? There's better insulation, better glass, better doors and roofing material, right? Those all deaden sound, which is great because you don't hear your neighbor's car and truck drive by during the night when you're trying to sleep, but it does muffle sounds, right? Outdoor warning sirens are just that. They're meant to be outdoors. They're really not designed to be heard in your home. If you live, next to one or a block away from one, you probably will hear it. But if it's a couple blocks away, it might just sound pretty quiet, especially if like the TV or the radio on, right? And they're really meant for outdoor purposes, not for indoors, right? If there is severe weather, right, the dispatch center will sound them for 3 minutes once they're activated. In Will County, particularly here also in New Lenox, each individual community is responsible for purchasing and maintaining and setting the sirens off. So if you have a question about how that works, you might want to call the village and they can give you better answers. It's also possible that sirens can be sounded multiple times, right? For example, New Lenox might sound theirs, and as the storm progresses, then Mokina might do theirs, and then Frankfurt. So you might hear them faintly in the distance. So, or the village might say, hey, this first front came through, we set the sirens off, there's another front coming, so we're going to set them off a second time. This is a really important one, right? There's no all clear, right? We're not going to set them off a second time until you can come back outside. We want you to stay indoors until the storm has passed so you can be somewhere safe. Again, they're not designed to be to be heard indoors. They're meant to be outdoor sirens. This is also these two are pretty important ones too, right? They shouldn't be your only source of information about severe weather. We really want you to know how to get weather from multiple sources, like a weather radio, a phone, your TV, your radio, the internet, all kinds of ways you can get it. We don't want you to rely solely on outdoor warning sirens. And they're not a perfect system, right? They typically require someone to make a decision about, they get an alert on their phone or however they get it where they're working at. Someone has to decide, yes, we should push the button to make the sirens go off. And then typically, if it's a police officer or the supervisor, they have to call someone because the button's not in their car to tell someone to push it for them. So there can be some delay in that. So you want to make sure you have a lot of ways to get weather. They're a good system if you're outside. They're just not a perfect system. So kind of the reason we would set them off, right, for confirmed sighting of tornadoes or by a trained weather spotter, or if the Weather Service has a message that says the storm is coming towards New Lenox and we have confirmed rotation in it, right? That might be a reason why we would want to do it. And again, what do you do when you hear them? We all run outside and look up at the sky, right? No, we don't want to do that. We want to make sure we're somewhere safe, turn the TV on, turn on the radio, figure out why did they go off, right? Is there something coming towards me? Is it okay that I'm here, or should I be further in the building? That kind of thing. So they're designed to let us know we should seek more information out. We test them by state statute the first Tuesday of every month at 10 o'clock. The window is from 10 to 10:15, so anything outside of that would be an activation, not a test. And the test might be canceled due to severe weather, right? We don't want to send the wrong message out that, yep, we're just testing them. The skies look really bad, but really, it's okay. Trust us, right? So we might pause or, and postpone it for 1 month until the next time. Weather radios, again, I've talked about these a little bit, right? You get weather information 24 hours a day. They make all kinds of noises, which you talked about, right? It'll wake you up out of a dead sleep. My parents are hard of hearing, and it's in their kitchen, and it still wakes them up. So they're very loud. But you can program them so you only get the types of watches and warnings that you want to get, right? You might not want them from Cook County or DuPage County. You only want them for Will County. And you can program all of it in there, and then by the different types of hazards. Maybe you don't care about the tsunami warning, right? You only want tornadoes and severe weather, right? And they're pretty affordable, and I think usually in the springtime, the meteorologists at the TV stations have some deal with, CVS or Walgreens or Walmart where they give them away at a half price or something like that. So keep your eye out for that if you're looking to buy one. Wireless emergency alerts. Who's ever gotten like an Amber Alert or a severe weather message on their smartphone? Anybody?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So those are really neat because you don't have to sign up for them, right? If you're just on vacation, you go to Nashville for the week or whatever, and a tornado warning gets issued for the Nashville area, and you happen to be in the right area, your phone will go off. It's automatic. It's a free service. It's based on where you're at. The cell companies have worked with the federal government, FEMA, and the Weather Service to have that kind of technology. It's a really great thing. I like it because I travel an awful lot, and I never have to worry about if I'm going to get severe weather because it'll show up on my phone where I'm at. So, excellent thing. And the types of alerts, we talked about a couple of them, but Amber Alerts, extreme weather, presidential alerts, right? The president can push a button and sets off everybody's phone in the United States. Yes, sir?
What's the blue one?
The blue alert, I believe, is, that one is for senior citizens who might, maybe they live in like a group home kind of thing, and they're I don't want to say that they got out, but they are not able to be accounted for. Maybe they wandered away from their home, like those kinds of things. So sometimes it's called a silver alert also. All right. These are the types of weather alerts that we would push out. Again, not all of them apply to us. If we ever have a tsunami warning here, I'm kind of concerned, right, or a typhoon. But a lot of, tornadoes, severe thunderstorm warning, flash floods. I hope we don't ever have a hurricane here in Will County. That would be even worse. But those are the kind of things that we might get messages for. If you've never seen one, this is how they kind of pop up on your cell phone. They make a lot of crazy loud noises, and you hit, OK to acknowledge it, and then it goes away, and you can go back to whatever it is you were looking at. So WEA, wireless emergency alerts, is a rather new technology, so some older cell phones might not be compatible still. So if you wanted to see if your phone was compatible, there's a website you can go to, ctia.org/WEA, and it'll ask you a couple questions. What kind of phone do you have? What carrier are you on? And it'll tell you if your phone's compatible. So there. Again, other ways to receive messages. Our buddy Tom Skilling, right? Everybody likes him. Man, that guy knows everything about weather. He's amazing, right? And again, there's a ton of apps. If you've got a smartphone, the Weather Channel, WGN's got one. The county has an app that we make available for no charge. Weather, again, websites like that. We really want to, if you haven't noticed, I'm pushing this multiple ways, right? Because you might not know where you're going to be at. If you're out to taking a walk, maybe you didn't bring your phone with you, so you may be out there warning siren, or you're in the car driving somewhere, the weather radio might be, you might have a portable weather radio or your AM/FM radio in your car, right? Multiple ways to receive messages. And again, it doesn't mean to go outside and look and see what the sky's doing. It means to go somewhere safe. All right, preparedness. So preparedness is always good. People travel. You want to make sure if severe weather happens, you've got some stuff with you to make sure that you're safe. In the winter time, we would say a shovel and a blanket and some food, things like that. But in the summertime, we always think it's a good idea to have a small first aid kit, maybe a flashlight in case you have a flat tire in the middle of the night, some snacks, for emergencies, not that you get hungry driving. Always good to have some water in there, jumper cables. I think most cars still come with spare tires. I think some of them have donuts now, but basic things you want to have in your car to make sure that you're safe if something happens and you're out traveling. Heat safety, right? Summer is coming. Man, I hope soon, because I saw in the forecast it might snow again tomorrow. So, summer cannot come fast enough for me. But you want to make sure if you're out in the summertime, you stay hydrated, right? You can dehydrate very quickly. You want to wear sunscreen, seek shade when you can, wear a hat, sunglasses, and of course, you never want to leave a young child or pets in a vehicle, particularly on a very hot day with the windows rolled up, right? The car can get really hot really fast, so we want to make sure we try to avoid those things. One of the things you'll see in our handouts here is the county has a Preparedness app, right? It's a free app. It's available if you guys have iPhones or Android phones. It's available on both platforms. It's got all kinds of things about weather preparedness on there. You can set up a communications plan. It'll help you put a safety plan together for your home. What else do we have on there? We have evacuation routes and shelters. If we have to open a shelter up, those would be on a map in there. And again, we can push weather information out too. So you can sign up for that. Again, that's for the Apple iPhones and the Android, other Google phones, that kind of thing too. So, all right. Some other places you get information, right? There's our website, willcountyema.org. It tells all about our agency and preparedness tips and tricks and things like that. ReadyIllinois.gov, Ready.gov, and the Red Cross. All kinds of great resources on those websites. This is one of my favorite comics, right? I've invented the radar app. People will know exactly what's coming and they'll be safe. And it goes off. I gotta go outside, right? We don't want to do that. We want to stay indoors where it's safe and we can protect ourselves as best as we can.
Always somebody.
Right. It's the Midwest. The siren goes off. Everybody wants to go outside and see what's happening. Where's that twister at? Is it really going to come towards me? So, any questions? I know I've kind of gone over a lot of things, but I want to make sure you guys have an opportunity if I can ask. You bet. Thank you. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here today and talk about severe weather. If you haven't looked in your handout, we've got all kinds of sheets about different types of weather, what you can do, how to prepare yourself. There's information about how to prepare your pets for severe weather and things like that. And then there's a pamphlet in here about when something does happen, how can we recover from it? So I'll be around for a little bit. If anybody has any questions, I'll hang out in the back. But I do appreciate the opportunity to be here today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
TRIAD works to improve the quality of life for seniors by providing an opportunity for the exchange of information between public safety, social services, and seniors. There are no membership papers to fill out or fees to pay. Everyone is welcome to attend. Each month, we present a guest speaker on subjects that keep you informed and up to date on the latest scams, frauds, and other criminal activities. We also discuss safety issues, home preparedness, and staying healthy. TRIAD meets the fourth Thursday of every month. Contact the New Lenox Police Department at 815-462-6100 for more information.